Creek Guitar, another set of our YouTube videos, and again, thank you very much for your support. As you know, bluescreekguitars.com and guitarforums.com, you'll find us there all the time. Anybody on the forum is more than happy to help you out. Thank you for your support, and I hope you like what you're about to see. Alright, this guitar, we want to show you, every now and then this will happen to you. And you can see the bridge is lifting. We know that the bridge is reasonably sound. Whether enough glue got put in under there or not, we don't know. Anyway, this is something that will happen to new builders. So we do know through experimentation here, we took a razor blade and we cut ourselves like a little feeler, and we can sit in here and we can play with this. And you can see that there is an eighth to a quarter of an inch at this spot that didn't stay stuck. This was a case where the bridge was glued on without an undercall, so when you start putting this kind of pressure on here, you end up cupping things. So what we're going to do is we're going to now work glue in underneath here. We have a flat caul to fit in underneath here, like so. Okay? So I can work in here with two clamps, and I can, just to show you, to dry fit this. I can actually tighten this up over here. This is good on this side. So I can tighten that one up. That's going to hold that caul into position for me. Now if I take the second clamp and I go in here, okay, and you can see I didn't really tighten that up real hard, just a little bit. Okay, you can see actually a good bit of that I can no longer get back in as far as I'd like to, and I can tighten that up. And what we're going to do, he used animal protein glue, fish glue, hot high glue is also the same thing. Not the same thing, but similar. And what this allows you to do is to re-amalgamate the glue, or in plain words, redissolve it. Titebond is a curing glue. Once it's cured, it's done. Hot high glue, fish glue are drying glues. You can add water and you can redissolve the glue. So, I'm going to take hot water, and I'm going to take a paint, that's actually a glue brush, and I'm going to work that in there. Alright? And I'm going to allow that water in here a couple of minutes to start activating on the glue. The water's going to redissolve the glue, and I can get in here with a piece of paper and kind of agitate things a little bit. And I'm going to know when the glue is starting to dissolve because I'll actually have glue on the piece of paper. Now, one advantage to this is that as we do this, and it's animal protein and drying glue, we can re-glue the bridge without having to take the whole bridge off. It is not uncommon in the days of Martin. They had a lot of problems with the bridges getting loose here because they had finish underneath the bridge. People would start poking it with paper, then they'd go with something a little heavier, start shoving business cards, and they actually would work their bridges loose when there really wasn't a problem to begin with. So now I'm not feeling much glue there, so chances are he may have missed getting glue in underneath there. Now the water is not going to hurt anything, and I can actually, if you get close, can you get close in here with one of the cameras? You'll actually be able to see when I squeeze down, I can actually see the water coming out. So that's telling me that the joint's good, but he missed the spot of glue. So we're going to let that work a little bit more, just that way we can make sure that there's no lump of glue holding this off. But we're going to allow that to set for another minute or two. Okay, now watch. I'll put a little bit of water here. Okay. You could actually see the water coming out. So that's telling me the joint is viable. And since I'm not feeling anything sticky on the end of my paper, and I can see that it's grabbing my paper, and there's nothing sticky there, he just missed the glue. So what I'm going to do is let that water, another minute or so, and I'm going to go get some fish glue. I like fish glue, I like hot hide glue. I'm not saying that I never use Titebond. Titebond is actually a fine glue. But for what I'm going to call tonally critical areas, top bracing, gluing the top on, bridge plate and bridge, I like my hot hide glue and I like my fish glue. Titebond is perfectly fine for neck block, tech block, putting the neck in, fingerboards. There's okay. There's another glue out there I've never used called Rue glue. I know my friend at Kevin Waldron's Instrument, he talks highly about it, and he's supposed to send me a sample. So we will talk about glues in the near future. Okay, so now whenever I use fish glue, you see me playing with the bottle and stirring it around a little bit. I just want to make sure that it's a homogeneous mix, that it's not settled. And now I'm going to actually work glue into the joint. So we have to work the glue into the joint, and we need to get it back there, and I need to get a good pile of it in there. Okay. I'm going to work that in there. Now I'm kind of like pushing it in like you do a caulking joint. Now I can take my paper, and now I can start working that in underneath there. So the glue is starting to wick in there. And if I squish up and down like this, I can get it to agitate in some more. I actually put a nice little pile there and it worked in, so I'm going to try to get a little bit more in there. Get myself another piece of paper. And I don't need to be in a rush to do this. Glue will any liquid will actually flow in by capillary action. You can see how that actually worked in underneath there pretty nicely. And I can feel, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like I can go in there and I can feel that there's something in there. So I know I'm getting glue back there pretty nicely. Okay. And you can see for all the glue I bobbled up there, it's pretty clean. So I'm going to put some more on there. I'm going to do this until I make a good mess on Glenn's guitar, then he can fix it himself. Okay, now you can see that ball, and you can see I'm just taking the corner and working that in there, and you can literally see how that's literally sucking itself in. See that? Wonderful. Now let's see what happens when I clamp this up. And I don't see glue coming out yet. A little bit. So I'm going to put more glue in there. As long as I can get the glue to work in there, I'm going to keep smearing it in. Again, we do thank you for your support. I hope I see you on the Kit Guitar forum. I would love to talk to you in there. I'm always happy to help. We have a number of people that are very giving with their information on all kinds of subjects, from finishing, building, jigs, software. So please, when you get a chance, look up kickguitarforum.com. Okay, now and what I'm looking for is I want to see some squeeze out. I actually can put more in there, so I'm going to put more in there. And what I'm doing when I'm holding that against the bridge, because I'm holding pretty good, I'm trying to squish it in, so I'm trying to get it to inject into the joint also. And let's see here. Yeah, we'll get more in there. Okay, as long as it wants to go in, I'll push it. There we go. Good. Alright. When I use hot high glue or fish glue, what I like to do when I glue the joints up, I do like to put glue on both sides. I don't want to think that you only need to put glue at one spot. You should put glue on both sides. Alright, now, I'm going to put a pad on there. I can clamp her up. Okay, I see some glue coming out.
Yep.
Alright, now I think we got her. And earlier water and even this glue will help the old glue in there to soften, flow together. And this will take, fish glue should have about a 6-8 clamp hour, 6 to 8 hours of clamp time. So there we go. We're going to allow this a certain amount of clamp time. Remember the call that we had shown you? That way everything's flat. You can see that the top is flat, it's not distorted. I do see a glue seam, and we're just going to let this thing sit, and hopefully later we can take the clamp off and we can show you that that tightened up. We're going to take the clamps off of this re-glued bridge. Now let's take a look. Take a piece of paper, and that is now snug as a bug in a rug. That is one of the big advantages to a drying glue over a curing glue. You wouldn't have to take it apart. Had this been Titebond, would have had to take this off to do it right. So, thanks again. My shop to yours. And hopefully later we can take the clamp off and we can show you that that tightened up. So we'll hang this out of sight, out of mind. Whoop!
It's alright. I didn't put that many hours into it. Oh wait, yes I did.
Yes.
Prop guitar.
Blooper!